Hello, welcome once again to the White Flag Podcast. My name is Joe McNeil, and with me is the emotionally codependent Scott Andrews.
Hi.
He cannot go to the restroom by himself.
No.
Today we are going to show you Heroscape. Heroscape has been a long-running game. It did take about a decade off, going from one company to another, but it has recently seen a pretty big revival through Renegade Games. And we're pretty excited because, as you can see, the table presence for this game is pretty amazing. There's a little view of the inside of that box. They have painted and pre-painted sets. We typically just sell the unpainted sets at the shop, but today we are using the pre-painted sets. So we actually have a tournament next Saturday. So if you are interested in playing that, it's just $10. And when you enter that, everyone who enters gets a promotional figure. So it just kind of covers the cost of that, which is nice. And then we usually have a prize for the top 1 to 3, depending on the amount of people. So we've had upwards of 20, 24 people showing up. Heroscape is a pretty huge thing. They have modular terrain, as you can see from here. Using hexagon-based tiles here, you can basically build whatever you can imagine, and you can build maps that are as big as your whole living room if you wanted to.
And it's worth noting that the terrain does come colorized, no matter whether the painted versus unpainted is only the miniatures.
Right.
All the terrain comes colorized. They just came out with like volcano terrain, they've got swamp terrain, they've got water, jungle.
They've got some really lava stuff coming out later this year.
Snow stuff, there's a lot of different terrain.
So they sell the terrain packs individually. So if you like the terrain for a D&D set or for the what's that one? The mech game that I'm blanking on? Battletech. Battletech uses hexes, and I think a lot of people have used Heroscape tiles for that in the past. But we've got a little skirmish. We built a couple of small teams. Each of these cards represents a person or unit. So Scott has one where it's just this guy, and then another where it's a squad of polar bears. Mine are all what they call Kyrie warriors. Those are ones with wings. They all have kind of flight abilities and stuff like that.
One thing that I really like about this game is on the opposite side of the normal side of the cards, you've got all your rules. The opposite side has a toned down version, a very basic version of the game. The rules for that very basic version are in the box as well. But basically, you don't have all the text and all these special rules. It's just you've got your move, range, attack, and defense for the person. It's a way to get younger gamers into this game. And I mean, when this game first came out, it was in every toy aisle. It was big and flashy. So a lot of kids did want to jump into it, and that was kind of how they supported that. And Renegade brought that back in this new version.
Focusing on hobby shops this time instead of big box stores, which is nice. But yeah, so we're going to play on the more complex one. On the complex side, they do have different abilities there, but basically this is, in my opinion, the best intro to miniatures games that has probably ever existed and probably will ever exist.
So the biggest difference, if you're familiar with 40K or some of the other, you'll notice we don't have any tape measures and we don't have extra books. All the rules for your characters are on your card. There's just a very easy base set of rules for the game. You count hexes for your movement. It does take verticality in. You have to move up hexes too. There's rules for water as well. There's glyphs that can be on the map that will do different things when you're standing on them as well. But basically on your turn, you have these little hidden markers. You've got a 1, 2, a 3, and an X, and you're going to secretly place those on your people. So we'll do that now. And whatever, when it's your turn, you'll turn over marker number 1, for instance, and you will take an action and a move with that character. Then it goes to the next person, they turn over their 1. Then we're on to our number 2, then we're on to our number 3. So the more cards you have, these will be spread out a little bit more. We've got smaller teams, so ours are going to be a little bit more condensed. To start a round, we both will roll a d20. Whoever gets the highest roll will have initiative. I rolled a natural 20 because I'm awesome. So I'm going to go first. So I'm going to reveal marker number 1 on my Frostclaw Paladins. That's the squad of 4. But they have a power that is Jandar Champion Bonding. Before taking a turn with the Frostclaw Paladins, you may take a turn with a champion you control who follows Jandar. And just so happens their boss, Jandar Knight Irene, is a champion of Jandar. So I'm going to go ahead and take a turn here first. Move a 4. So I'm going to go 1, 2, up 1, 3, 4. There's nothing in range because he doesn't have any range. So that free turn for him is done. Now I'm going to move these guys. 1, 2, and he's got to stop right there because he can't make it up. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Now for squads, you do have to make all of your movements before you make any of your attacks.
And again, I don't have any range on these guys. I have a range of 1, which is melee. So that's going to be the end of my first activation.
Okay. So my number 1 is on Raylin, the Kyrie Warrior. Now the lore is something that's pretty awesome about this game. And when this game was out 10 years or so ago, Raylin was actually on Jandar, which is kind of the good guys, and Utgar, the red cards, they're kind of the bad guys. Well, something happened in the last decade off the books that Raylin is now a bad guy, and she's riding a giant saber-toothed tiger. Which is pretty crazy with a scorpion tail, so that's pretty awesome. Some of the lore behind this is you might have World War II guys versus samurai versus polar bears versus, like, they kind of can throw whatever they want.
Yeah, they brought heroes from all different realities together to try and fight this evil. So that's how you get, like, there's literally, like a line from the Kentucky. Like the old game had a line from like a Union Army with, flintlock pistols. And then, you're fighting polar bears, or you're fighting people riding dragons. It's really cool. Yep.
So Raylin has flying, so she can ignore terrain as far as like having to move up and down. But because of Leviatok, if I control Leviatok and another unique Kyrie hero, which she is, who follows Utgar, which is the red team, figures you control who follow Utgar increase their move value by 1. So she gets to move a whopping 7 spaces.
Uh-oh.
So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like a good spot right here, I think.
And it's worth noting in the base rules of the game, if you are higher than the person you're shooting at, or attacking, you get an extra die to roll. Yep. Or if you're higher than the person that's attacking you, you get an extra die to roll for your defense.
Now defensively for Raylin, while opponents' figures are within 4 clear sight spaces of Raylin, they lower their defense value by 1. So that helps me inflict more damage. Another cool thing about this that makes it easy to play is on the side of the card is a red silhouette with some gray on it on some cases. Those are the hit zones. So instead of like, can I see this or not, you literally just look to see if you can see any part of that red silhouette, you can make the attack as long as
so
you're
in Raylan's case, her wings aren't valid targets.
Correct. Yep. So she does not have any ranged attacks either, so you get to go.
All right, number 2 is also on my Frostclaw Paladins.
I am shocked.
Right?
How dare you use the synergy of your team?
I know. It's insanity. Oh, goodness gracious.
What you gonna do?
Stay away from you is what I think I'm gonna do.
So the dice, the combat dice, 3 of the faces have skulls, 2 have shields, and then there's 1 blank. So probability-wise, it's better to attack than it is to defend. You're much more likely to roll successes when attacking.
I'll go there. That's what I'm doing.
Okay. All right, my number 2 is on Raylin, and she's going to eat your face, probably. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going for it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh, saber-toothed tiger, crazy lady with the spear versus the polar bears with, like, cybernetic gloves.
Right. She is going to pounce over that way. Let's see. So she has Twist the Blade. If Raylan inflicts at least one wound with a normal attack or leaving engagement, she inflicts one additional wound. So I am going to target this one right here.
Okay.
I have to announce who I'm targeting. Remember, because of her terrifying aura, you get one less defense.
Okay. So everything is decided with these dice. The dice have skulls for attack and shields for defense, and then some blanks.
So I rolled one success. He
And
did
I
not roll
rolled
any defense.
Nothing.
So he takes one normally, but with Twist the Blade, he gets an additional one.
Which they have 2 wounds, so that will take him off the board.
There we go. And that is it for Raylan.
Okay. Look at that. 3 is on my Jandar Paladins again.
I don't understand.
So he is going to move 2, and then he's going to attack. I actually have Overwhelm Special Attack. Attack 3 plus special. You may attack twice with Overwhelm Special Attack. If you attack the same figure a second time, you may roll an additional attack die for the second attack. You may not use Overwhelm Special Attack if you use the Run special power this turn, which I did not. So normally I would roll 4 dice, but with this special attack, it says attack 3. So I only get to roll 3 on the first, but the second one I'll get to roll 4. We're on the same elevation, so nothing changes there. So I rolled 1.
I blocked it.
Okay, and then my second attack, I get an extra die. I rolled 2 that time.
I blocked 1, so I take 1 damage. I put it on the card there.
Okay, and then again, I was activating my champion off of their power.
Yep.
So we're going to shuffle here a little bit.
Which, as long as you don't leave engagement, nothing happens. If you're going to move away from a figure, they get to do a free attack with 1 die.
So now I'm going to attack with my Frostclaw Paladins.
Okay.
So I'll start here and go around. Each one of them gets to roll 3 dice. So I got 2 that time.
So I take 1.
My next one goes. He rolls 1.
I blocked it.
And my last one goes. And he rolled 2.
And I take another one. So she has 3 damage out of the 6 life she has. All right, my number 3, which will end the round, is on Leviattack. Let's see. When a squad figure, I don't have any squad figures, so that doesn't matter. All of her skulls count double, so that's pretty cool. I think I'm going to take a spot right there. Now she has flying, so she can just ignore all of the terrain movement there. I technically have 1 more move, but I think I'm okay to stay right there.
Okay. So now that the round has come to an end, we'll do what they call reorder. So we'll pick up our markers and we will put them back on our stuff here. And then we will re-roll for initiative. Whenever Joe's ready. My poor polar bear got beat up. I got a 13 that time versus Joe's 6. So again, I'm going to go first. And again, Frostclaw Paladins. So I'll make an attack first with my Knight Irene. I will again do the double attack. So I got 1.
Blocked it.
And then I get an extra die. And I got 2.
Oof, I take 1 more.
Okay.
She's got 2 health left.
And then I'm going to attack again around the circle here. 3 for the first one. I got 2.
It takes 2.
Next one.
Oh,
None?
actually, that killed me.
Oh, that killed it.
Yep.
Okay. So one thing about Heroscape you have to think about is even though his thing died and I didn't move these guys, since I did my attacks, I can't now move because you always move first then attack. So that will be the end of my turn.
And obviously, I'm playing a lot more aggressive just for time's sake.
Right.
It's not a great idea to just throw one of your guys
Right.
by themselves towards the other team.
And the other interesting thing about the game, so Joe has a marker on whatever her name was.
This is Laval on Raylan.
Right. So if that was his number 1, for instance, he would basically just reveal it and nothing would happen, and then it would be my turn again.
All right, so she's going to fly over there and attack Irene.
Okay. So he's going to get an extra die since his figure is higher up than mine.
So normally it's a printed 2, but I'm getting 3. And then she has Deadly Strike, so all of my skulls count twice, which is a whopping 2, which is nothing.
I rolled 3 shields, so I blocked.
And that's it.
Okay. 2 is once again on these guys. So he's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then attack, I'll do, is it once a round? I guess I can just do it again. So I'll do my double attack. I got 1.
Blocked it.
And then 4 dice. I got 2.
Blocked 1. So she has 4 health.
Okay.
1 damage on 4 health. Unfortunately, oh, go ahead. You got your squads.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2. So, unfortunately, where he's positioned himself is really good. I can't get these guys up high enough, so he's going to get an extra die on his defense for all these attacks. But each one of my bears is going to attack. The first one, I'm just going around in a semicircle again. I got 2.
Takes 1.
Second one, I rolled 2.
Takes 1.
Third one,
Oops.
I got 1.
Blocked it. So she has 1 health left, but it's not looking good because unfortunately my number 2 was on Raylin.
Uh-oh.
That turn is just lost.
Uh-oh. So I was a little thinking maybe Raylin would take my guys out, so I actually didn't put number 3 on my guys. So I'm only going to get to attack with my bear. However, I do have movement. So I'm going to get to where I am higher up, and that is going to give me 4 dice for the first attack and 5 dice for the second attack on my special. Oh, I rolled 4. That's tough.
It's actually over because I only had 1 health left, even if I rolled all shields. So she is dead.
Okay. So we will go to his third.
My number 3 was on her. Yeah.
And that is our X. So now we reorder.
I wonder if my lowly Misarks, the Kyrie Warrior, is going to be able to take these guys on. Probably not.
We'll find out.
Probably over.
So I'm actually wanting him to roll higher than me for the thing, but it didn't happen. So my number 1 is again on the Frostclaw Paladins. So I'm going to activate him first.
Now going down terrain, you don't have to count for the difference in height. So
we're just going to run over there.
Run downhill.
These guys are going to go 1, 2, and they'll have to stop. But we're going to spread out a little bit.
All right. So Miserix has a life drain ability.
Uh-oh.
Each time this figure destroys a figure, you may remove a wound marker from this army card, so I can heal. This figure cannot drain life from destructible objects, which makes sense.
They don't have life, they're objects. Like Starscream pillows.
Right. So she's going to fly over there. I've got height advantage. Okay. And I'm going to attack. How much health does Irene have?
5.
Okay. 3, finally.
You rolled 3?
I rolled 3, and
I rolled nothing,
anything.
so I'm going to take 3.
There's a chance.
There's always a chance in this game.
Yep.
And that's it for you. So 2 is on them. So activate her first. She's going to step up so we're on the same level. Do her special attack. Mm-hmm. The first one I got 2. He blocked them both. The second one I got 2.
Blocked 1.
Okay, and then these guys are going to activate. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
Another good thing to note is some of the terrain features give you extra bonuses. So
if you're standing next to
if I'm shooting range and you're standing next to a bush, you would get more. You get an
extra defense die.
Right. So unsurprisingly, my number 2 is on Miserix.
What?
She is going to attack Irene once
Color
again.
me shocked. But now he doesn't get the extra die because we're on the same level.
Just 1.
So I get 4 defense, and I did block that 1.
Okay.
Uh-oh! Panda bears again. So
course.
we're going to attack there. I'll do my special. I got 1.
Takes 1.
I got 3 that time.
She is dead.
Woo!
That is game.
Obviously, this was a very quick game. There are range characters in the set. Lots of different strategies, and one thing I really like about the game in particular, you have to do strategy not only based on the other team, but on the terrain. You saw us kind of moving around here in the hills, trying to get that 1 extra die advantage. Also, like, if you land in water, you immediately have to stop. I think flying gets around that, correct?
Yep.
The swamp is kind of the same way. The glyphs that we didn't play with start face down. They're random, but they might give you like +1 to movement or +1 to your attack or +1 to your initiative if you have a guy standing on it. And there's some other ones that got really crazy that were like kind of quest items that you had to go find and stuff. They are bringing out a glyph kit. They just announced a new wave, and we are very excited. They announced they're going to be doing G.I. Joe Heroscape. I grew up in the 80s, so G.I. Joe is near and dear to my heart, so I'm looking forward to that one. But if you guys are interested, we do have a small map set up in the shop. Come on by. Whether I'm here, Joe's here, we can give you a quick run through on the rules, let you kind of see how it works. And then we have starter sets. We have the master sets and the 2-player starters. We got terrain and a bunch of other character packs, so you can kind of get whatever you want.
Yeah. So the huge master set's 120, unpainted. It comes with a ton of stuff. It's a very large box.
Yeah, you get a ton of this terrain in it.
2-player starter, which comes with a map maybe a little smaller than this, but not too bad, and enough for 2 people to play, which is kind of nice. And that entry point is only like 40, 45.
In both sets, they'll come with all your order markers, your wound markers, your
everything.
dice, your glyphs, everything you need to play the game.
Yep. And just building the maps is so much fun.
Yeah.
Now, he mentioned G.I. Joe, Heroscape. In the past, they've done collaborations with Marvel and with D&D. So with Renegade, they have ties to Hasbro, hence the G.I. Joe. They've done a lot of their RPG work and stuff. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities that you might see Transformers or some of the other Hasbro properties come
I think
along.
it'd be crazy to see Power Rangers.
Yeah.
Because they have the rights to Power
They have a lot
Rangers
of
right
that,
now.
too. So,
yeah, great game. Really, really fun, really easy. And even easier if you play with the super basic side, but even the advanced side you saw, nothing too crazy going on at all.
And we've sold a ton of this, especially to older guys that used to play when they were like teenagers. They're adults now. They have their own young kids, and they want to bring that just for a nostalgia's sake, but also they're trying to teach their kids the elements of, miniature gaming or hobby board gaming. And it's a great tool because it's just so easy to pick up and teach. And everything just looks really cool with it.
Yeah.
So,
and there's lots of cool stuff. You just saw 2 very small armies. There is giant dragons. There is pirates. There is cyborgs. There is a whole army of like bugs coming. They've showed off like a guy in a dirigible and a guy with a little armored walker with a giant machine gun on it. Like, whatever you can kind of think of or imagine, it's been in this game. They got ninjas, they got samurais. I mean, it's all there. It's really cool.
Yep. Well, thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Booby!
I don't know where that dice went.
Somewhere
Somewhere down there.